Okay, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We've got another driver head-to-head video for you today, and a couple of the big boys in the 2021 driver bracket in the way of the Titleist TSi3. A little bit more of that low spin adjustability of weight on that particular driver up against the new TaylorMade SIM2. Okay, so two big boys in the driver cast. We're going to put them head to head. We've got TrackMan on the floor as always, so we're going to provide you with some data of the numbers and the performance, a little bit of a different layout of the screen that we may have seen in the last few videos, which I've got a lot of positive feedback from, so we're going to keep with that, and we'll maybe see which one is the best performer. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with the new SIM2 driver. So we've got SIM2, and obviously then we've got SIM2 Max, which is a little bit of that weight more back in the head, or a heavier weight in the back. This is the SIM2, so a little bit more of the lower spin version, 16 gram weight in the back. We've got a little bit more of that screwed weight in the front section, a little bit more centralized, 9-degree head set at 9-degree, and I've got exactly the same shaft in both of these drivers, same flex, same length, and everything like that. So we're going to keep this as tight a comparison as we possibly can. So quite a big fan of the TaylorMade. I've got some good numbers with this in my review videos, and a couple of the comparisons I've done. I like the feel of it, I like the look of it. It's a different look, I appreciate. Again, looks is always personal, but I do like the look of this driver. Okay, not a bad opening shot, just peeling a fraction right. Strike pretty decent. Good ball, club head speed 115, 166, 292, spin a tiny bit high, but that's a nice opening shot there with the TaylorMade. Big fan of I like the look of it, even though it is a little bit different. Again, it can be a little bit personal on that side of things, but the sound I think is absolutely, again, on point. Really good sounding golf. It's not too high pitched. It's a solid hit. It feels like you've really given that ball a really good hit. Again, that felt pretty solid. Great sound, good ball flight, a little bit of left to right shape, touching the heel, good ball speed from that heel strike, and spin not too bad. It's just obviously crept a little bit with that slight heel strike, but 292, good carry distance. So just for you, maybe information there, the shaft that we are actually using here is a Hazardous Smoke RDX 6.5. Got exactly the same shaft in the Titleist, same length, same flex. Again, that's a good strike. It just feels like it's spinning up a tiny bit there. I mean, it's struck high in the face. Yeah, 3-2. Just sort of see it slightly on that flight. Just looks like it's just climbing a little bit. But the speed numbers are great. You know, club head speed. That's probably as quick as I have been for a while by maybe 1.5, 2 mile an hour. Ball speed's good, 166. Just feel like I've just got a little bit of that descending blow on those. It just sort of climbs a tiny bit on those shots. But again, that's probably just a little bit of me. You can maybe just dial that in a tiny bit. Again, solid. Touch heel, great ball speed again. 270, 290, very good numbers. Nice and accurate as well, which is good. Again, we see a lot of these accurate drivers for me this year. A little bit more stable. A lot of work done on those, distributing that weight, stabilising that head, increasing that MOI. Okay, just pulled that a little bit. Touch high in the face up that left side. That might miss fairway. It's quite a wide fairway on TrackMan, to be honest. But again, good ball speed. Okay, so there's 5 shots hit with the SIM2. It's a good looking driver. It's a great sounding driver. Let's go into the TSi3. Okay, so TSi3 launched back end of 2020. So obviously a driver for 2021 going forward. It's a great product. It's a very good, typical Titleist looking golf club. I don't think they're ever going to go away from the shape that they sort of produce. Just a classic, you know, this is TSi3, so a little bit narrower from that face to the back edge in relation to the TSi2, which is a slightly larger footprint. So potentially getting that CG a little bit close to that club face, potentially creating a little bit more of a lower spin characteristics in relation to the two. Obviously we've got the movable weight on the back there, so we can dial in relation to maybe the golfer's strike pattern, as well as maybe a little influence of heel and toe bias in terms of draw fade, etc. But sits great down by that golf ball. Black gloss, very clean, very plain, just a small TSI logo on the top. Just see a little bit of that grooving on the club face, or that or that groove pattern on the club face, should I say. And that does feel good. And that flight is good. That's a little bit low in the face. That spin's going to pop up. Yeah, a little bit around that 3,000 mark, slightly low in the face strike, but good ball speed, 112.6, nearly giving me 166. So I sort of found that in my review video, is a low strike was creating some really, really good ball speed. So missing it low in the face, I've definitely found the Titleist did create some good ball speed numbers. But again, the feel of that is absolutely superb, and the sound, again, like the TaylorMade, is very on point. A little bit more of a solider thud with this, maybe just in slight relation to the TaylorMade. That's really solid. Good ball flight. Fraction right side, not by much. Strike's good, nearly 167 ball. Good club head, 298 carry. So the real big talking point with the Titleist in terms of the technology is this ATI club face. So this aerospace graded material that you use in the club face what they're saying is helping create as much ball speed as possible. I think it just provides a really good, solid, as I said, solid sound to it. Good feel with it, just a very solid driver. See, that wasn't perfect. A little bit of a test there. Yeah, touching that heel. I mean, not by much, but it felt a bit more heel than that, but the ball's done well. Again, 165 club ball speed. So this ball speed is very consistent. That did feel like a little bit of a miss hit there. I could feel that. I got the response. I got the feedback through the club. So I'm expecting a drop of speed, and that's not that bad, is it? I mean, it's still fine in the fairway. 287 is still decent, but it just didn't feel like I was going to get that. So that's maybe where with these modern, or not modern drivers, but definitely drivers of 2021, is we're seeing some good stable clubs, higher in that MOI, which I think is good for all levels of golfers. Oh, that's solid. That is really solid. It's a great sound. I love that flight. It's a good looking driver. Again, 167. Start to feel like I can let that go a little bit. I think it's a confidence side of things here, isn't it? I think this is something you'll experience maybe when you go and get fitted or trying these drivers is, you know, you'll respond to one of them, whether that's a good looking driver in your eyes, it's a good weight, it's a feel, it's a sound, it's a look, and that might just build confidence. And with that confidence then, especially then if you start seeing consistent results, you start to just maybe let the swing go a little bit more. You can let it swing a little bit freer. We know that can just increase a little bit of speed and maybe just start to see a little bit of that there. If you just look at numbers, probably not a great deal in it, to be honest, between that and the TaylorMade. Oh, and again, that's a really good strike. Just working a fraction down, felt a little bit in that toe, but flight-wise, superb. Oh, look, I mean, 169 ball speed. See that slight toe strike? We know we can get some sneaky ball speed with that toe because the toe's always going to travel a little bit quicker than that heel, so you can potentially get a little bit more speed out of those certain slight toe strikes. So 5 shots hit with each. Let's go a little bit deeper in the numbers. Okay, so we look at the driver comparisons there. So the white was the SIM2 and the yellow was the Titleist. So there's a little pattern there. It's quite interesting to see. The ones that maybe just peel a little bit up that right-hand side, you can see just get that slightly higher flight as they peel, probably a little bit higher spin on those. And then typically I'm always prone to that little pull one, which I hit one with each of those drivers. You can see how they fly out a little bit lower, a little bit stronger. Obviously, as you would expect, more of a left miss to be that stronger flight. So when we look at that in terms of dispersion rings, we can see, again, the yellow is the TSI, the white is the SIM2. So very consistent SIM2 in terms of that front to back dispersion. Couple of slightly longer ones with the TSI. Both hit one, as I say, the left miss with both of those two, just to keep things even, didn't do it on purpose. And then we have a little look at the numbers there. So you can see SIM2, club head 114.9 against 114 with a Titleist. So, I mean, probably that first one was a little bit slower there, but again, it wasn't intentional there with the Titleist, but just a fraction slower with the Titleist. But you know, it's nothing that's going to sway it between. I'm not going to go ahead and straight away and put SIM2 in the bag purely because I gained 0.9 of a mile an hour over 5 shots. Looking at ball speed, you can see 166.8 against 166.1. So 0.9 of a mile an hour less club head speed with TSi3, yet created 0.7 mile an hour more on that ball speed. Interesting. Is that ATI face? Is that the weighting in the club? Is it my strike? Probably a little bit more my strike, probably, but it's interesting how I've actually generated a little bit more efficiency from slight less club head speed, create a little bit more ball speed. So for me, that shows that I'm striking the ball a little bit better with TSi3 on those 5 shots. Launch angle, very, very similar as you'd expect. Spin, absolutely identical, 2,800. Probably just ideally like to keep that a little bit lower, just get an odd high, couple of high spinners in there. Maybe a little bit consistent there with the Titleist in terms of the spin, not as many into that 3,000 mark. Distance is pretty much exactly the same, height exactly the same. We'll look at side total here. So difference from that centre line of that fairway, right and left in feet. So we can see the bigger misses there was a 59 feet to the right and an 84 foot to the left. You can see with the SIM2, we have got a 69 to the right and a 69 to the left. So quite similar, really. We had both of those left misses. Others were very, very similar. So there's not a lot to split it in terms of the dispersion. Okay, there we go. So for me, 2 different drivers, but 2 very similar performing drivers. And when I say different drivers, it's more with the looks, isn't it? There's you know, a very classic Titleist shape, very quiet, very minimal of what's happening there, blacked out, that's it. Whereas obviously TaylorMade's a bit more in your face. We've got the white, we've got the blue, we've got the carbon, we've got you know, a lot more going on. Obviously the bottom part of the club, which isn't always important, is it, in terms of how it sits behind the ball and performs, but again, a lot busier on the SIM2 in relation to the TSi3. Post comments down below, let me know your thoughts between those 2 drivers. Are you a little bit more of a classic, or you prefer a little bit more of a classic looking drive as opposed to something that's got all the bells and whistles on? Love to hear your thoughts as always, but for me, 2 really good drivers. What would I pick out of those 2? I think in terms of the look, it's close, because I do like the TaylorMade, but probably the TSi, they're just that classic look. Just brings back a few older memories for me, growing up with a lot more classic looking golf clubs there. So it sort of pulls on my heartstrings a little bit in that side of things. Sound wise, I think they're both really good on the sound, the feel. Maybe the Titleist just pipping it if I'm going to get picky, but it's a really close call. Okay, appreciate you watching the video as always. If you enjoyed it, share it around, hit the like button, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Follow me from the social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter. The handles there are @NNGolfCoach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.